Stop right there. Do not scroll past this moment. Look at your hands. Look at the room you are sitting in. Take a deep breath and let it fill your lungs. The fact that you can do this, that you are breathing, thinking, and watching this right now, is a statistical impossibility. You are not here by accident. You are not here because of luck. You were brought to this specific video at this specific hour by a sacred appointment that was written into the timeline of your life before you were even born. There is a notification in the spiritual realm that just went off, a transaction that has just been cleared, and it concerns an inheritance that has been waiting for you to wake up and claim it. But this isn't about money, although provision is part of it. This is about something far more dangerous to the forces that have tried to stop you, and far more valuable to the kingdom that sent you. We are about to open a file on your life that explains everything. Attention, you need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you, and strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment. The pain, the confusion, the near misses, the nights you cried yourself to sleep wondering if anyone up there was listening. I am going to reveal to you why your life has felt like an uphill battle from day one. You have felt it, haven't you? That nagging sensation that you are swimming upstream, that you are a target. Well, today the veil thins. Today, you find out why the enemy tried to end your story 3 specific times. And more importantly, you are going to discover the divine deposit that just hit your account. Only 1 in a million people ever realize this truth while they are still alive to use it. Most people go to their graves thinking their survival was just chance. You are the 1 in a million who is about to realize it was a strategy. Before we unlock this inheritance, I need you to make a connection with me. If you have ever felt that you survived something that should have killed you, I want you to click that like button right now, not for the algorithm, but as a digital act of witnessing. You are raising your hand and saying, I am still here. By liking this video, you are signaling to the universe that you acknowledge your survival was not a coincidence. And if you are ready to receive the answer to why, make sure you are subscribed. We are building a legion of survivors here, and you do not want to walk this path alone anymore. Let's go back to the beginning. You need to understand the magnitude of what you are carrying. You see, the level of opposition you face is always an indicator of the magnitude of your destiny. Average people do not face assassin-level complications. If you were insignificant, the enemy would ignore you. But you have been hunted, and the reason is simple. You are carrying a deposit of divine power that terrifies the darkness. There is a pattern in the lives of the chosen, a pattern that I believe fits your life perfectly. It is the pattern of the 3 death attempts. This isn't a metaphor. I am talking about 3 distinct moments where the assignment against you was terminate. The enemy saw your light before you were even conscious of it, and he launched a preemptive strike. The first attempt happened in your youth. Think back. For many of you, this wasn't a physical accident yet, it was a spiritual assault. It was an invisible battle waged against your spirit. Maybe you were the child who was always sick with unexplainable fevers. Maybe you suffered from night terrors that were so vivid, so terrifying, they felt like physical abductions. Or perhaps it was a traumatic event in your family, a divorce, a loss, or abuse that was designed to shatter your innocence and snuff out your light before it could grow. I want you to close your eyes for a second and remember that child, the one who felt different, the one who felt isolated, even in a crowded room. You felt a heaviness that a child should not have to carry. That was the first attempt. The enemy tried to crush your spirit, to introduce fear so deep into your operating system that you would never dare to step into your power later in life. He wanted to paralyze you with trauma. But look at you. You grew. You survived the nights. You survived the loneliness. You kept a spark of hope alive, even when your environment was trying to drown it. Why? Because the divine deposit was already active. Angels were stationed around your bed. You were shielded by a decree that said, "Touch not my anointed." If you recognize this first attempt, if you remember feeling that spiritual warfare as a child, type, "I survived the first wave" in the comments. Let us see how many of us have walked through that early fire. It is powerful to see that you are not the only one who felt marked from a young age. But the enemy didn't stop there. When he realized he couldn't destroy you in your innocence, he changed tactics. He waited until you were older, until the pressures of life began to mount. This brings us to the second attempt. This one was more subtle, more insidious. It was the war for your mind. For many of you watching this happened in your 20s or early 30s. It came as a crushing weight of despair. It wasn't just sadness. It was a demonic oppression that sought to suffocate your hope. This is where the anxiety attack started, the kind that makes you feel like you're having a heart attack. This is where the depression became a deep, dark pit. The voice in your head began to whisper lies. You are worthless. You will never make it. It would be better if you just gave up. This was the second attempt on your life. It was an attempt to get you to self-destruct. The enemy wanted you to do his job for him. He wanted you to forfeit your inheritance. How many nights did you stare at the ceiling pleading for relief? How many times did you drive down the highway and have a fleeting, terrifying thought of just letting go of the wheel? That was not you. That was the thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy. But here is the miracle. You are still here. You did not give in. You fought through the brain fog. You got out of bed when every cell in your body wanted to stay under the covers. You kept going to work, kept taking care of your family, kept smiling even when you were bleeding internally. That resilience, that wasn't just willpower. That was the Holy Spirit sustaining you. That was the second layer of your protection engaging. You were being forged in the fire of mental warfare so that you would have the empathy and the strength to help others later. You were rescued from the pit of your own mind. Now, we must speak of the third attempt. And for many of you, this is the most recent, or perhaps the most terrifying. This was the direct physical confrontation with finality. This is the moment where time itself seemed to bend. I am talking about the car accident where the vehicle was totaled, twisted metal everywhere, yet you walked away without a scratch. I am talking about the sudden health crisis, the diagnosis that came out of nowhere, the tumor, the heart issue, the mysterious infection that baffled the doctors, the moment where they said, if you had come in an hour later, you wouldn't be here. I am talking about the violent encounter or the dangerous situation where you escaped just in time. I want you to recall that moment. The sound of the tires screeching, the cold, sterile smell of the hospital room, the feeling of the adrenaline spike. In that split second, death was staring you in the face. It had a legal claim, or so it thought. But then, intervention. Maybe the car spun in a way that defied physics. Maybe the surgery was miraculous. Maybe a stranger intervened. Whatever it was not luck. It was precision-guided protection. Heaven did not save you merely out of kindness. Heaven preserved you for a mission that could not be aborted. The enemy played his final card, physical destruction, and he lost. He missed. Why? Why did you survive all three? Why are you the one who walked away when others didn't? This is the question that haunts you, isn't it? It is called survivor's guilt, but today we are going to rename it survivor's purpose. You survived because there is a deposit in your spiritual account that has not yet been withdrawn. You survived because there is a generation waiting for your voice. You survived because you are part of a lineage of spiritual warriors who are called to break generational curses. The enemy knows who you are. He recognized your signature in the spirit realm before you did. He knew that if you ever woke up to your true identity in Christ, you would be dangerous. You would be unstoppable. This brings us to the secret inheritance. This is the divine deposit that the title of this video promised. What is it? What has just hit your account? It is the spirit of revelation and authority. Up until now, you have been playing defense. You have been surviving. You have been dodging bullets, but the season of survival is over. You are entering the season of dominion. The inheritance that has just been unlocked is the ability to see the spiritual reality behind your physical circumstances and the authority to change them. Think about the story of Jesus in the boat during the storm. The disciples were terrified. They were in survival mode. They were bailing water, screaming, thinking they were going to die. That is where you have been. But Jesus, he was sleeping. And when he woke up, he didn't help them bail water. He spoke to the storm. He used his authority. Peace, be still. The shift that is happening in your life right now is the shift from bailing water to speaking to the wind. The inheritance you have received is the authority to command the chaos in your life to cease. You have been kept alive, not to just suffer through the rest of your days, but to demonstrate the power of God in a broken world. This is why the attacks were so severe. The enemy was terrified of your mouth. He was terrified of your prayers. He knew that once you realized you could speak to mountains, his kingdom would be in trouble. Now, I have to share something that might be difficult to hear, but it is necessary for your liberation. The reason many people never claim this inheritance, the reason they are not the 1 in a million, is because they become addicted to their trauma. They identify so strongly with being the victim that they cannot imagine being the victor. They wear their scars like badges of honor, but they never let the wounds heal. You must make a choice today. Are you the victim of 3 death attempts, or are you the recipient of 3 divine rescues? The facts are the same, but the perspective changes your destiny. If you are a victim, you will live in fear, waiting for the other shoe to drop. If you are a recipient of rescue, you will live in gratitude and boldness, knowing that you are invincible until your purpose is complete. I want to challenge you right now. If you are ready to shift your identity from survivor to warrior, I want you to verify this in the comments. Write, "I am marked for purpose." Do not just think it, type it. There is power in your confession. When you type that, you are signing a contract with your destiny. You are telling the algorithm of the universe that you are ready for the upgrade. Let's go deeper into this divine deposit. What does it look like in practical terms for a person over 35 living in the modern world? It doesn't mean you quit your job and become a monk. It means you bring the kingdom into your job. It means when you walk into a room, the atmosphere changes. Have you noticed this happening lately? You walk into a tense meeting and suddenly things calm down. People start coming to you for advice. Strangers even. They tell you their life stories. You find yourself giving wisdom that you didn't even know you had. That is the inheritance leaking out. That is the river of living water that Jesus promised. It is flowing through you because the blockage of fear has been removed. The inheritance also includes a new level of discernment. You will start to see people's true intentions. You will know when someone is lying to you. You will feel a check in your spirit before you make a bad investment or enter a toxic relationship. This is the Holy Spirit upgrading your internal navigation system. You survived the crash so you could become the navigator. But here is the warning. With this inheritance comes a new level of responsibility. To whom much is given, much is required. You cannot go back to living a shallow life. You cannot go back to petty arguments, to wasting hours on mindless entertainment, to numbing yourself with substances or distractions. You have been bought with a price. Your life is not your own. This is where the 1 in a million comes in. Most people will watch a video like this, feel a momentary goosebump, and then click over to a cat video or the news. They will go back to sleep. They will leave the inheritance unclaimed in the account. They will continue to live as if they are lucky survivors rather than chosen vessels. But you are still watching. You are feeling a burning in your chest. That is the confirmation. You are ready to claim it. So how do you access this deposit? How do you withdraw this spiritual power and use it? First, you must forgive the enemies of your past. This is the key that unlocks the vault. You have to forgive the people who hurt the child in the first attempt. You have to forgive the circumstances that caused the depression in the second attempt. You even have to forgive the person who caused the accident or the doctor who gave the bad news in the third attempt. Why? Because unforgiveness is a blockage in the artery of your spirit. It stops the flow of the anointing. When you forgive, you are not saying what they did was okay. You are saying that they no longer have power over your future. You are cutting the tie that binds you to the trauma. Second, you must ask for the wisdom to use it. The inheritance is vast. It includes creativity, influence, resources, and peace. You need to wake up every morning and say, Lord, I claim my inheritance for today. Show me who I am supposed to help. Show me what I am supposed to build. Show me where I am supposed to speak. Third, you must stop living in fear of the fourth attempt. This is the biggest trap. Many survivors spend their lives waiting for the next bad thing to happen. They live in a state of chronic hypervigilance. Listen to me closely. The enemy has fired his best shots. He has emptied his clip. He tried to take you out in childhood, he tried to take you out in your mind, and he tried to take you out physically, and you are still standing. You are like iron that has been hammered and put back in the fire. You are harder, stronger, and sharper than you have ever been. You do not need to fear the future. The same hand that caught you when you fell is the hand that is holding your tomorrow. There is a specific reason why this message is finding you now. We are entering a time in history where the world is shaking. You can see it in the news. You can feel it in the economy. You can sense it in the culture. People are desperate. They are looking for hope. They are looking for stability. They are looking for someone who knows the way. You are that someone. You were preserved for this specific time in history. Your trials were your training ground. Your pain was your preparation. You understand suffering, so you can comfort the suffering. You understand fear, so you can lead people out of fear. You understand the brink of death, so you can show people how to live. Imagine for a moment what your life would look like if you fully embraced this truth. Imagine walking into your workplace with the confidence of someone who knows they are backed by the armies of heaven. Imagine handling your family crises with a peace that passes all understanding. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing not a victim of trauma, but a warrior of light. This is the Jesus revealed moment. It is the moment you realize that he was there in the abuse. He was there in the depression. He was there in the crash. He was the fourth man in the fire. He didn't stop the fire, but he made sure you didn't burn. And now he is calling you out of the furnace. I want to share a secret with you that very few understand. The divine deposit also includes financial and resource provision. When you align with your purpose, provision follows. It has to. A soldier sent to war is supplied by the government that sent him. He doesn't have to buy his own ammo or food. When you stop living for yourself and start living for the assignment you were saved for, the resources you need will appear. The right doors will open. The right connections will be made. The inheritance hitting your account is holistic. It is spiritual, emotional, and physical. But you have to claim it. You have to step out in faith. You have to stop hiding. There are people in your life right now who are waiting for you to rise up. Your children, your spouse, your friends, your colleagues. They are waiting for the version of you that isn't afraid. They are waiting for the version of you that knows your worth. Before we end this transmission, I have a challenge for you. This is a practical step to anchor this truth in your reality. For the next 7 days, every time you look in a mirror, I want you to say out loud, I am the one who survived. I am the one who is marked. I claim my inheritance. It might feel silly at first. Your mind will try to reject it, but keep doing it. You are reprogramming your identity. You are overwriting the old code of victim with the new code of victor. And as you go through this week, pay attention to the coincidences, pay attention to the sudden opportunities, pay attention to the clarity of mind that comes. That is the deposit clearing. That is the inheritance manifesting. I also want to ask you to do something for the community we are building here. If this message resonated with your spirit, if you felt that burning confirmation, share this video with one person, just one. Send it to that friend who has been through hell and back. Send it to that family member who is struggling to find hope. Be the agent of their awakening. You might be the reason they finally understand their own story. When you share this, you are expanding the territory of light. And listen, if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to ask yourself why. Are you content with the surface-level noise of the internet, or do you want deep, transformative truth delivered to you? We are going to explore more about these spiritual laws, about how to hear the voice of God, about how to break the chains of the past. Join us, click that button, and turn on the bell. Do not let the distraction of the world pull you away from this source. As we close, I want to pray a declaration over you. You can receive it or reject it, but I speak it with the authority of someone who knows the truth. I declare that the cycle of death in your life is broken. I declare that the assignment of the enemy against your mind is cancelled. I declare that your physical body is under the protection of the Most High. I release the spirit of wisdom and revelation upon you. I call forth the hidden gifts, the dormant talents, and the suppressed dreams that you thought were dead. They are not dead. They were just sleeping. I command them to wake up. I declare that you will not just survive, you will thrive. You will not just get by, you will overflow. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You are the 1 in a million who claims the inheritance. The deposit has hit your account, the funds are available, the authority is yours. Now go and live like it. Walk with your head high today. When you feel that old anxiety trying to creep back in, laugh at it. Remind it of the 3 times it tried and failed. Remind it that you are still here, and you are more dangerous to the darkness than you have ever been. This is your time. This is your turn. The world is waiting for you. I'll see you in the next video, where we will go even deeper into the mystery of your purpose. Until then, remember, you were kept for a reason. Find it, live it, and never apologize for the power you carry. The inheritance is yours. Claim it now. However, there is a critical warning I must give you before you step away from this screen. This is the part that most teachers leave out. They tell you to claim your power, to speak the affirmation, and to walk in faith. But they fail to prepare you for the inevitable counterattack. You see, when you make a declaration of that magnitude, when you shift your spiritual frequency from victim to victor, you disturb the equilibrium of your reality. Physics tells us that for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. This applies to the spiritual realm just as much as the physical. By claiming your inheritance, you have just declared war on your old identity. And your old identity will not go down without a fight. In the next few days, you might experience what psychologists call an extinction burst. This is a phenomenon where a behavior or a pattern spikes in intensity right before it disappears forever. You might wake up tomorrow feeling a sudden, inexplicable wave of depression. You might face a conflict with your spouse that seems to arise out of nowhere. You might get a bill in the mail that threatens to drain the very resources you just claimed. Do not panic. Do not think that the prayer failed. Do not think that you are being punished. This is the sign that the shift is real. Your old reality is screaming because it is dying. It is trying to pull you back into the familiar comfort of struggle. Most people mistake this resistance for a stop sign. They think, oh, I tried to be positive, I tried to claim my worth, but look, bad things are still happening. It must not work for me. And they retreat. They go back to the smallness. They go back to the silence. But you are now awake. You will recognize this resistance for what it is, a confirmation. When the pressure mounts, it is because you are pushing against the walls of your container. You are expanding. The chaos is not a sign of failure. It is a symptom of reconstruction. Think of a home renovation. Before the new, beautiful kitchen can be installed, the old one must be demolished. There is dust. There is noise. There are exposed wires and broken pipes. It looks like a disaster zone. If a stranger walked in, they would think the house is being destroyed, but the architect knows that this destruction is necessary for the upgrade. You are the architect of your life now. When you see the dust flying in your life this week, do not despair. Stand in the middle of the mess and say, this is progress, this is my upgrade happening in real time. Let's go deeper into the science of this, because I want your logical mind to be just as satisfied as your spirit. Your brain is designed for survival, not happiness. Its primary function is homeostasis, keeping things the same. To your primitive brain, the unknown is dangerous. Even if your current reality is painful, even if you are broke, lonely, or unfulfilled, your brain prefers it because it is familiar. You have survived it this far. So when you start talking about inheritance and purpose and abundance, your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, hits the panic button. It perceives this new version of you as a threat to your survival. It floods your body with cortisol. It creates anxiety. It generates thoughts of imposter syndrome. It whispers, who do you think you are? You're going to look stupid. You're going to lose everything. This is why so many people over the age of 35 get stuck. You have decades of neural pathways reinforced by repetition. You have a highway of habits that leads to mediocrity. To change that, you have to hack your own biology. You have to override the default settings. How do you do that? By refusing to engage with the fear emotionally. You must become the observer of your own mind. When the thought comes that says you aren't good enough, instead of spiraling into sadness, step back and look at the thought. Label it. Say, I see you. That is just an old program running. That is not me. The moment you observe the thought without identifying with it, you strip it of its power. You are breaking the neural connection. You are pruning the old synaptic pathway. This is neuroplasticity in action. You are literally rewiring your brain to match your new spirit. But it requires vigilance. It requires you to be the guard at the gate of your mind. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You cannot afford a day off, not right now. The momentum is building and you must protect it. There is another layer to this resistance that we need to address, and this one is often the most painful. It involves the people around you. As you rise, as you claim this inheritance, you will change. Your energy will change. You will no longer tolerate the things you used to tolerate. You will no longer participate in the gossip, the complaining, the collective misery that bonds many social groups and families. And when you stop playing your assigned role in their drama, they will get uncomfortable. They will sense your elevation, and it will trigger their own insecurity. They won't say it outright. They might not even be conscious of it, but they will try to pull you back down. They will make snide comments like, oh, you think you're better than us now? Or, why are you so obsessed with that self-help stuff? Be realistic. This is the crab bucket effect. If you put a single crab in a bucket, it can climb out. But if you put a bunch of crabs in there, whenever one tries to climb out, the others will grab its legs and pull it back down. They would rather all die in the bucket than let one escape. It is a harsh truth, but you need to hear it. You may have to leave some people behind, not because you don't love them, but because you love your purpose more. You cannot carry dead weight while you're climbing a mountain. You can pray for them. You can love them from a distance. But you cannot let them anchor you to the bottom of the ocean when God has called you to walk on water. This brings us to a concept I call the vacuum law of prosperity. The universe abhors a vacuum. It always seeks to fill empty space. If you want the new inheritance, the new relationships, the new opportunities, the new health, you must create space for it. You cannot fill a cup that is already full of stagnant water. You have to pour it out. This week I want you to look at your life with a critical eye. What is taking up space that doesn't belong to your future? It might be physical clutter in your home, which is a reflection of mental attention. You need to prepare now. I put together an exclusive resource for those who feel set apart for something greater, but live surrounded by noise, distractions, and mental overload. This is a 30-day journey that will transform your life. A guided path to armor your mind and prepare for what's coming with daily practices of focus, boundaries, and discipline. Stop negotiating with the noise. Learn to spot distractions before they control you. And strengthen your mind. Also available in an immersive audio version. Over 10 Zuru readers have already transformed their lives through the 30-day journey. Thousands of people have already started this transformation. People like you who are tired of living in the fog. Ordinary people who decided to stop accepting mental chaos. Take advantage of this limited time offer only this month. Access your link just below in the pinned comment.